So we're gonna just kind of lesson review functions and absolute value. Absolute value. I put the word value in there. Middle part. In their equations, so we're going to go through. So on your choice boards, you had functions, absolute values, for mainly for this week. So you're supposed to choose two from here, and do the work. Then you have systems of linear equations. I got a couple messages that some people have already started on their systems, and that the activity pages aren't working. So if you are working ahead and you're doing these two activities, they may not be working. And I've contacted the people who created them to let them know that those are not working. Hopefully they'll get back to me soon and we'll figure that out. But as of right now, I haven't heard anything back yet. So we'll figure that out. So the first thing we're gonna make sure is that you guys are familiar and comfortable with your parent functions. So with your parent functions, you should be fairly comfortable knowing what linear function, quadratic, cubic, absolute value, your reciprocal, your exponential, your logarithmic, and your square root. So hopefully you're fairly comfortable with those and you don't have any questions about those, I assume. But if you do, let me know. But that's where we are. So then we're now going to kind of go through, I opened some of your activities and we're going to kind of talk about them. If you have questions or anything, I'm also going to model how to save if it's multiple. If you're working from a phone or a computer or something, we're going to kind of go through saving that as one file instead of having to upload multiple files. So the first choice that you could have done here online was compositions. So if we remembered compositions, with your compositions, it's a function within a function, right? A function composed of another function. And so hopefully we didn't struggle too terribly on here. But when you are doing this activity, you start from the inside. So we know that 3 goes in. We're going to go to 3 on table H. So I go to 3 on table H and I get -1. So then now I'm looking for f of -1. And I'm going to go to -1 on table F and I get -11. So my answer is -11. So that's how you're using tables and graphs. So hopefully we were comfortable doing tables and graphs. And then I think that was pretty much the gist of tables and graphs. Hopefully we had no questions and you guys are like, oh yeah, I remember doing this. This is super duper easy. So as you're doing the tables and graphs, that's all you're doing. Hopefully we didn't have too many questions or you guys felt like it was hard or difficult. If you did, please let me know. Ms. Jones messed up the format. So that was that on compositions with tables and graphs. Next, you had function operations. And so with your function operations, it's a kind of a weird format of how this page is set up. I don't know why it's set up like this. If anyone asks who changed it, don't say Ms. Jones did. It's just a very weird format. I don't even know how they have you doing it. And then that looks better. Okay, here we go. So just reminding you, when you're adding and subtracting, basically you're just combining like terms. So here on the addition, let's say this is your problem 1. So on addition, you have problem 1. And so if you are doing these problems, you have a 1A here. And then you'll have I know that these are questions I got about format of the assignments. What is it asking you to do? So 1 is just telling you you're going to add. And so these are the operations you're going to follow to add. And then you're going to do it with these 2. And then 2 is asking you to do subtraction. I now see why it was confusing. So on 2, it's asking you to do subtraction. And then you have these 2 problems that you're going to do subtraction with. I don't know. I don't think the people who ask questions about this are in the group, but at least I'm making the video and then they can look and see if maybe this is helping them. And I think people were, I don't know what people were doing or why. I see where it could be confusing, but I don't know what they were doing otherwise with the problems. So I'm hoping reformatting it is bringing clarity. Do you guys have an idea of why people may have been lost or confused here? So that they just said that the assignment didn't make sense. So I was like, okay, I'll look at it. So here, I think I hope I helped by reformatting it. That was my attempt to make it a little easier. Oh, yeah. Thanks, April. I don't know either. But I reformatted it, so maybe this will help. I hope it will. I don't want you guys to be confused, and I don't want to be a reason why you're not able to get your work done. So keep clicking this in. I don't want to do that. I just want you to. So addition, so if we're looking through the addition one, hopefully now you guys can see a little more clarity on problems. And this would be A, and then A, and then this guy would be B. I can make it move. So hopefully that clarifies what you're doing here. It won't let me change the layout, but it's on here now. So there's 4 problems, and each problem has 2 parts. So if you're pre-AP, the division you're going to do, and remember what division, it involves you doing your factoring skills. So factoring and then eliminating. So you're going to factor, eliminate. Your hint for factoring here is that these are difference of 2 squares. Difference of 2 squares. And so for difference of 2 squares, remember that means if you have a squared minus b squared, it factors out to become a minus b times a plus b. So for example, if I had 4x squared minus 36, these are 2 perfect squares. So it's going to factor out being 2x minus 6 times 2x plus 6. So just a reminder on that one. On difference of 2 square factoring. The other reminder I would give you guys is be careful with subtraction. Remember with subtraction, that means you are, you need to distribute. So when you're setting up your subtraction, so for like 2a, if I have f of x minus g of x, that means I have 2x plus 3 minus 4x squared minus 3x plus 6. And so you're going to need to make sure you're distributing. So you have 2x plus 3 minus 4x squared plus 3x minus 6. And now you go through and combine your like terms. So you have 2x, 3x, and you have 3 and -6. So if you're paying attention and watch this, there's that one. So be careful on making sure you're distributing your values. Addition is pretty self-explanatory. I think you're safe with addition. With multiplication, make sure you are just multiplying. So whether you are going to use the FOIL multiple distribution method, the box method, just make sure you're multiplying. And for division, again, remember, you're going to set the division, you factor, eliminate, simplify. And that's what you're going to be doing for the division part. I don't know why this thing is, there you go. So if you have questions still about that, let me know. I will gladly answer them and hopefully bring clarity. Please ignore the small child in the background. Ethan, stop. Go. Not right now.
No, Daddy here hanging out with Erica. They both were and and Daddy told me he going outside. He said, "When I go outside, he's still inside."
Okay. Well, I'm working, so I shall talk to you later. All right. So then we have absolute value equations. So remember, with absolute value equations, that means that you can have a positive and a negative, because for absolute value, you're just saying how far is it from.
Mama, we need to school.
I need to finish my school, and then we'll do your school. And so when you're solving these, make sure you're solving them for the positive and the negative. And before you can split, you need to make sure that your absolute value is isolated. So remembering that, for example, let's look at number 10. We're going to look at number 10. So on number 10, I need an absolute value to be by itself, so I'm going to add 5 to both sides. And that's going to be the absolute value of x plus 8 equals 7. And now I can solve it. So I'm doing, again, it's 2 equations. So you're going to be solving your x plus 8 equals positive 7. Your x plus 8 equals negative 7. And then you're going to find your answers from there. So make sure you're isolating and then finding your 2 separate answers. And just think about the absolute value function. Remember, that makes our V shape. So multiple, 2 inputs are going to have the same output. There's that one. And then now the last thing that I wanted to kind of cover with was your online activities through Desmos. So as you're working through the Desmos, you are going to kind of take like screenshots at the end. I wanted to go over with how to, if you choose to do the online Desmos, how to save that so that you can submit it as a 1 document instead of giving me 500 documents. So if you look here, it says this is a function of negative absolute value of x plus 2 plus 3. And it has an x-intercept at -5, 0, and it has an x-intercept at, where are we at? 1, 1, 0. And your y-intercept is at 0, 1, and your vertex is at -2, 3, okay? So that's the beginning there. Uh-oh, I pressed the wrong thing. So then I'm gonna click next. And it says it's going through what is a vertex, and it tells you what's a vertex. Beautiful. And now it's having you move the vertex to the correct position. So it just wants you to say, here's the vertex. Yay, you did it, okay? And I know the instructions say to, so for your activity. It says send a picture or screenshot of your work through Google Classroom. So right here, here's my first part of my work. So if I'm on my phone, I can screenshot it. If you're on your computer, I use what's called the snipping tool. I don't know what MacBooks have, but if you are on your computer, you can use the snipping tool, or on your keyboard, you can literally press screen at the top. It should be at the top after your F12, and you can press print screen. And what I would encourage you to do is just, as you're doing it, if you're on the computer, just open a document and say what it is. So this is my absolute value function. So this is activity A, no, B3, absolute value function. And so I did that, and then I took the print screen. So here's my work, I print screen, and then I keep going because it says to take screenshots of it. So that one's done. Then I'm gonna go on the next one. It says, what is an x-intercept? Here's my x-intercept explanation. Then, all right, locate your x-intercept. So I'm gonna locate the x-intercept. Here's one of them. Here is the other one. And those are my x-intercepts. Again, I'm gonna click print screen on my keyboard or on my phone. I'm just gonna swipe, or I don't know what Apple's do, I'm not gonna lie. And so the next part is done. Cool. And then I'm gonna hit next. What is a y-intercept? 0, 1. Awesome. Locate the y-intercept. Yay. Y-intercept. So smart. I'm gonna hit my print screen again on my computer, or swipe, make my screenshot. If you're taking screenshots, that means that once you open a Word document on your phone, like if you go to Google Doc, you can just insert all of those screenshots into one document. And then here it says drag and group all the cards that go together. So you're looking for the matching cards. So I'm looking for the vertex of 1, 2. So I'm going to find vertex 1, 2. Where art thou? Is it this one? Yeah. I need y-intercept of 0.5. Looks like that guy. Then I have no x-intercept. Y-intercept of 0.3. I think that applies to this guy. It looks like it. So as you group them, they'll start telling you, okay, you have this many cards in here. Vertex at 1, 0. Should be that one. X-intercept at -1, 0. If you're doing it from your phone, my computer's touchscreen, and it's the same thing. You can literally take it and drag it with your phone, with your finger, and put them where they go. And then, where was it? 0, 1. And then vertex, -1. And so then once you're done, you have your cards. Again, either take a screenshot or do a print screen on your home computer, print screen. And I'm going to go back to my little Word document. And now I've completed the online. Here are all 4 of my answers to the activities that they had. And so then when I go to my Google Classroom, I'm able to, let me switch to my school base. And then in your Google Classroom, when you are submitting, I'm not logged in as a student, so you're not going to see it from the student end. You're going to see everything here. But for me, let's just say I need to upload something. When I click on it, I'm going to click the add, and I'm going to add it from my Google Drive because I did a Google Doc, so therefore it's in there. And there's my work, there's my activity. I'm going to add it, submit it, and I'll be done. Okay. So that's just so that you're not having to upload multiples, especially if you're taking pictures. So if you did your paperwork, you can take a picture, make a Google Doc, and all of it would be in one location, one file, instead of you having to have multiple files. So hopefully that clears that up on how to get through these activities and get it turned in. And I hope it makes sense. And then you have the same thing for absolute value. You're going to type in your answer. You can take a screenshot. And you're only taking the screenshots of the ones where you're actually doing work. So like here, I have work to do. There's work here. This was a lot of screenshots. Transformation is a lot. And so just screenshot it, put it in that one document, because that just makes it so much easier for you and for me as the teacher. When I'm looking and grading, I can just quickly look and say, okay, yes, yes, perfect, all in one, instead of having me open, click this file, click this file, click this file. And it's as simple as you taking a screenshot, pasting it into a Word document. And I've tried it on my phone. It goes just as quickly on the phone if you have Google Doc. So you do need, in order to do it, you do need Google Doc on your phone. So downloading the Google Docs app and making sure it's connected to your school. So make sure you're logged in on Google Docs through your school account. And then you're just going to create a new document from there. So you would create the new document on your phone, title it whatever activity you're doing, and then you can insert. So like if I copied and paste something, I assume this is how iPhones work because this is how Samsung's work. But if I take a screenshot of my phone, so I take a screenshot, which is just me swiping, and I go to my paste, I should be able to paste my screenshot. Let me take a screenshot of something. So I'm going to have the kid, I take a screenshot, and then in my Word document, I hold it down and it allows me to paste, or I can go to where it says add, and you can insert all your images. So I'm going to insert images from my phone, and you can click all the screenshots you've done. You can add them all and have it in there, and all of it's been in one location. So again, I strongly suggest, for especially those online activities, those multiples that come up, that you do it that way. So that is kind of the gist of it. So just going through the absolute value, making sure you're doing the parts, you're doing your shifts, transformations. Remember, x's are a liar, so it looks like it's x minus. Those are ups and down, because y is the truth, why lie, you know? X's, there we go. So when we're doing our horizontal movements, translations, remember our x's are a liar. So what would this graph look like? Well, the graph would be a V-shaped graph, move to the left instead of to the right, because even though it looks like +4, it's actually saying I'm shifting my function to the left 4. So that's the gist of your activities that you should be able to complete this week. And then I'll go with systems on Tuesday, but systems also is something you're working on this week. The reason why I'm not doing the system is because the two for the systems, these two links aren't working. And I will, but all your system word problems, again, on here, you're choosing only 8 of them. So you're out of the 16, you're going to choose which 8 you're going to do. If you want to do this straight on the computer yourself, make sure you are going to file and make a copy, okay? You want to file and make a copy, and you can title it, this is C3, your C3 activity. And so you're titling it. Now you have a copy that you can work on. So from this copy, you can go through and say, okay, I am going to do problems 1, 2, and 3, but I'm not going to do. So you can pick and choose your 8 that you're going to do. and take the rest away. So I'm like, I'm going to take, just to be simple, I'm only going to do the first 8. And so here are my 8 that I'm going to do. And like it says, you're writing the equations and that's it. And that's all you're doing is writing the equation. There's no attached table. You're just writing it either on your own paper. Should be own paper. But here, so you have a rectangle, has a perimeter of 36 centimeters. Its width is 4 centimeters, less than its length. Find the length and width. So when you're working on this, you are saying, okay, well, I have length, width. Those are my 2 variables that I'm working with. So I know that perimeter is 2 length plus 2w, and my perimeter equals 36. So that's my one equation. And I'm going to find the next equation. So the next equation that I'll use to solve this is its width is 4 centimeters less than its length. So I know that width is means equal. That's a horrible looking W. Width is 4 centimeters less than its length. My length minus 4. So these would be my 2 equations for that system, and then I would be done. We're not asking you to solve it, just to set up the system. So here are my 2 equations. Here are my variables are length and width, and I'm done. And then I'm free to move on. So again, if you want to write it, or if you have a, I think Gabriel, you said you had a tablet, you can write it directly in there with your finger, your pen, or whatever you use. Just make sure you make a copy first, and then you can write right on there. You can also just type it in there if you're comfortable. So a theater sold 9 tickets to a concert. Floor seats cost $12. Balcony seats cost $10 each. So if I have floor seats, so that's 12. I'm going to call it F plus so 12F plus, and then you have balcony 10B, and you know that it has to equal, and you know it has to equal 900. That's my first equation. Then my second equation, it says total receipts of the 9,780, because that's the cost, and you know that in total you have F plus B has to equal 900. So you also can just type it in there. So you don't have to be able to write on it. You can also just type it. And I'm extra, so I would probably type it and highlight, here's my answer. Okay? But make sure you're making a copy. Okay? And then that saves it to your drive. And just like before, you would go and click add, go to your drive, and it should be one of the first under your recent as what you've been working on. And there's my activity. I load it and I'm done. So that's for your writing systems. Are there any questions, comments, concerns? If not, I have nothing else that I was going to kind of go over with. Hopefully I didn't rush through it, but those were the main things I wanted to talk to you guys about. Today is our smallest class of people showing up. Maybe I should have sent the reminder. I'm going to load the video to our Google Classroom, and so maybe they'll watch it there. And hopefully this was helpful. And once I know more about getting these 2 codes to work, I will post in Google Classroom once they're up and working. And on C1, I want you to look through your notes and talk about what does consistent independent, consistent dependent, and inconsistent look like as linear functions. Hence why I didn't go over them with you, because I want it to be something you do. And I wanted to go over these with you, but however, the links were doing something weird at first. Did they fix it? See? So we'll have to figure out how to get the links up and running again, and I will post those updates in your Google Classroom. If you guys have no other questions, then that was kind of the gist of our lesson today. It was a real lesson with your teacher looking like she just woke up. But that is it. So Jackie or Gabriel, are y'all good? Have any questions?
No questions.
No.
Y'all feel good about getting your work done and things turned in this week?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Awesome.
So we just have to do A1, A and B this week?
Well, A and B is due, this week. And then C, D, and E are due next week.
Okay.
So, just follow the due dates in your Google Classroom.
All right.
We're all there. But I hope that helped. And then on Tuesday, I'll go over quadratics and square roots. So,
Okay.
Good?
Yep.
All right. Well, have a good afternoon. It's a lovely day outside, so go get some sun, especially you, Gabriel.
Not for long.
We'll just go for a little bit.
No, not for long. There's a severe thunderstorm watch.
That's why you should go now.
No, that means I should stay inside.
Okay. All right. Have a good day, guys.
All right.
Bye.
You
All
too,
right. Bye,
miss.
Miss
Bye.
Jen.